Hi there, it's Natalie with you today with a new process video for Paint Studio. And today we're going to be working with the Very Merry Christmas collection by Paige Evans for Paint Studio. And my idea today is I wanted to use quite a bit of paper. I wanted to use some leftover pieces from my 6x8 paper pad. And I also wanted to create something that had a lot of movement and design. So my idea is let's create some gift boxes, pile them to the side of the layout, and then put my picture there. So the first thing I did is, and what probably took me the longest, was audition paper until I found the right combination of papers. Most of these papers, like because it's the same collection, they work seamlessly, but I just wanted something that was going to work with my pictures at the same time. So you're going to see that I have very subtle patterns because I need to add more stuff to it. So number one. Second thing, you're going to see that I have presents that are going from like vertically, so top to bottom, and I have presents that are going from left to right. And where those two, kind of the two lines of the presents are going, the direction of the presents, that's where my pictures are going to sit. So just going to make them pop a little bit more. Now, the other thing that I'm doing is I am actually going to, like I said, use leftover pieces. So I'm going to be smart on where I place them. For one thing. The second thing is the more paper that I don't use, the less this layout is going to be bulky, because we are going to add quite a few dimensional items, so I don't want to make it bulky. So you're going to see that if I have, for example, in the lilac piece of paper that I put on the back, I trim the stuff that's going to be hidden or that's going to be underneath the other paper layer so that I don't add the bulk. And what I'm doing at the same time while I am placing the paper is marking where the corners of the presents are going to sit, so it makes it easier for me to after like build the layout back again. So I'm just playing with paper. Once I have my packages, or at least the boxes in place, I'm going to go ahead and cut the strips of this paper. So this is the Merry Memory paper, and I'm going to cut strips of paper. These are 3/4 of an inch of the size of the width of the stripe, and I'm gonna cut some of the red to create the crisscross ribbon on the blush packet. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna cut the strip. I'm going to kind of fold it at the top and the bottom of the present, because I want to give the impression as if the paper is wrapping around the present. So I thought if I fold those, it's a minimal detail, but it actually does look pretty because you see the little overhang on top of the paper. So I'm going to work with that. And like I said, I'm going to make sure that the lines cross on the top right corner, like ish, of my package, because that's the part that you're gonna see. So all I'm doing right now, like I said, I'm using my scoring board to just mark the edges, kind of create the score line, and fold it to the back of the present or the package, whatever you want to call it. And I have my first present. Remember, I created the lines on my background, and I'm using just white cardstock, so it makes it easier for me after, when I have them all ready, to build it up. Now for the lilac, while I was working it, I decided to go kind of tone on tone. So I'm going to use the same paper. This is the Merry Memories paper. I'm going to cut the purple stripe to create the ribbon on the back present, but because it's going to be hidden, I don't want to create something that crosses. Instead, I'm going to create like a double ribbon sort of story for it. So same idea, I'm going to score like around 1/4 of an inch at the top of the paper strip, and then I'm gonna fold it behind the present and glue it in place. So it kind of gives you the idea that you have like the ribbon going around the present. Because a lot of the lilac present is gonna be hidden behind the other packages, I don't need to create like the cut or create the ribbon that goes all the way around the package. So I'm going to camouflage. That's the best word. So I'm just gonna add a piece of the paper enough so that it shows, and a little bit more, but no more than that. So once I have my purple package ready and I have my pink one, then I'm going to work on the other ones. For the blue, kind of that teal, I'm going to use the next color in the Merry Memories paper. So it's kind of like a dark teal. And then the only one that I used a different tone was for the red one. And then I went into the 6x8 and I picked something that had a little bit more of a pattern, kind of a tone on tone. And it's the B side of the floral paper for the 12x12. So that is the It's Given Christmas paper. So I'm using the 6x8 because the pattern is smaller and it looks more like on the solid side. Again, same idea. Now what you're gonna realize is when I did the vertical packages, the crisscross is on the top of the paper, but when I did the packages that are going horizontally on my page, the crisscross of the ribbons are gonna be on the left hand side of the paper. That means that, like, when like the two packages meet, or the two orientations of packages meet, that's where my pictures are going to sit. Now that I have my packages ready, I'm going to go ahead and glue them in place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of foam adhesive to just pop the top edge of my packages. I want to create a little bit of dimension, make them pop a little bit more, but I'm going to try to glue the bottom, especially the parts that are like layered on top of each other. I'm going to try to glue those in place. Now, if the package edge is outside of the picture or outside of another layer, I'm going to add foam adhesive to it just to give it a little bit of a lift from the paper. But if it's going to be on top of another paper, then I'm going to glue it straight onto the page. Once I have that, I'm going to bring in my pictures. I'm going to add foam adhesive behind them because I want to pop them. So I have my packages in place. Now I need to start embellishing. So I thought, why don't I create ribbons, like, curls of ribbons? So the same idea, like you work with the ribbon when you are creating a package. I just got, I think these are around a 1/2 inch strips of the colors of the the paper strips from the Merry Memories paper, and I'm gonna take my bone folder and literally just run it on the back of the paper strip so it starts to curl. So I'm gonna do it a few times until I get the curl, and then I'm gonna play with my finger, kind of stretch it and curl it at the same time, so that creates that curly cue that you see right now. And then I'm just gonna glue it in place. I'm gonna help myself with the glue. This is a Pink Fresh Studio glue, and it dries really quick to make sure that my curly cues have a shape and a direction. Once I have that, you're gonna see for the top package, I'm gonna pick up these 2 bulbs from the ephemera pack. I'm gonna cut a little slit at the top where the hanging piece is, and then I'm going to kind of stick them on the curly cue and then add foam adhesive behind them to keep it in place. Now for the package that has the ivies, that kind of peachy tone blush, I'm going to use a floral just to pick up on the holly of the back. Now I'm going to go to the package on the left, and I'm going to work again a curly cue for it because I need to kind of bring the top and the bottom together. Again, this time I'm gonna cut my strip. Actually, I'm gonna do 2 strips because I have all the space on the left that I need to fill up. I'm going to curl the one strip all the way. I want a long strip so that I can pull it away from the package. You're gonna see I have one, and then I did another one so that I can pull it towards the picture. So I have the 2 directions of the curly cue, and then I'm just gonna add that Snowflake is one of the foil ones from the journaling ephemera. Once I have that, I need to create a title, and I know that I want to kind of have the title as the tag for the red package. And again, I'm going to bring another flower to it, but I need to bring one that's a little bit bigger. So I went into this called It's Given Christmas, and that's the floral paper from the collection, and I'm going to cut one of those big pink florals from it. I'm gonna fussy cut it. I want to kind of mirror the one that I already have in the package, on that blush package. So I'm gonna take my time and I'm going to fussy cut it. Once I have my flower ready, I'm gonna tuck it right behind the picture. So that's the only thing that you didn't see, is that I added a little bit of cardstock stickers to the side of the pictures just to bring a little bit more sentiment, and I'm adding some enamel dots like around where all the clusters are in, and also behind the title, just to give them a little bit more of a pop of color, also just to kind of bring your eye there. I know that my lines of journal are most likely going to go in the top between the lilac and the teal paper and the teal package. And that's about it. I love how this turned out. This was a super easy and quick layout to put together. I think it's a great idea, especially if you have quite a bit of leftover pieces of paper, just to play with them and don't waste them and use them up. As always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. Remember that you can check all the details of this here. I'm actually going to put them also on social media. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more beautiful content. See you soon, guys.